Christmas special episode, we're going to look back on the calamity that happened last year.
Joining us tonight are two distinguished med species. Our first guest is Janine. She is a continuous improvement manager who has been with Med Specialized for almost 6 years now. Welcome, Janine.
Hi.
Welcome, Janine. And our second guest is Raymund. He is a virtual administrative medical assistant under Dr. Catalyst. He has been with Med Specialized for over around 1 year and 7 months. Both of them will be sharing their experiences before, during, and after Typhoon Odette.
Right, but before we get into the juicy stories that we have from the Typhoon Odette last year, we'd like to get to know you guys a bit better and how you guys started your journey here at Med Specialized. So, John, could you start it off?
I joined the company through a friend. I was referred by a friend who was also a manager here a couple of years ago. I actually joined Med Specialized as a marketing manager for Dr. Catalyst before I moved on to Meditab and got 2 roles before my current position. So that's how I joined the company.
Right, thank you. What about you, Raymond? How did you start with Med Specialized?
Yes, I've been referred also by a friend, and she said that this company offers free food and ice cream.
That's true.
I feel like that convinced a lot of people.
It's like a selling point, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but I wasn't able to enjoy it that much because I was working at
From
home.
home. Yeah.
So I wish they could deliver some free ice cream.
Well, now that you're here, you can get some free ice cream after we wrap up.
Anyway, I would just like to ask Raymond, because I'm having a hard time calculating the months here. Were you already with Med Specialized when Typhoon Odette happened?
Yes.
Okay. So what was the experience like when everyone was panicking? It was pretty much like a novel experience for Cebuanos who rarely get devastated by typhoons. So what was that experience like? If you could just walk through us. Walk us through it. I'm sorry.
During that night when the typhoon happened, it was really scary because you will hear the noises like in a horror movie, like a ghost whispering all around you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you will hear some boom, a bang. Those are the roof. Like there's some trees falling down, and you won't know if that's already your roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We had so many weird noises happening around us, and I was like, is that our house? Is that our neighbor? Is that something flying towards our house? And we were just like, stay away from the windows and protect yourselves. But yeah, that's something that Pao said. We rarely have typhoons like that. Like hit
that's strong.
Yeah, because usually, like what we were talking about earlier before we started recording, that like we get a lot of quote unquote bagyo announcements, but it's never to that extent. And initially, when I heard about the typhoon coming, it's like, oh, it's going to be another typhoon. It's just going to be like the normal floods that we unfortunately experience. Unfortunately, floods are normal. But during that time, we were really, really scared. Like, my dad was like, no one move. We're all gonna stay together. No one stay in their rooms. Because if something bad happens, then at least we're like, we can evacuate. Although, where can you evacuate in the pouring rain? So, John, could you tell us about your experience during Odette?
I live on a mountain, so it's 20 kilometers from here. It's still in the city of Dalisay, but it's quite up there. So, the experience for us is, I would not like to downplay the experiences of people who are from downtown, but I can definitely say mine is totally different. Everybody in the house who were like older, our helpers, my mom, were all crying because it was like the scariest that they've ever experienced in their life. And there was roofing in 1990, and they said that it was much worse during Odette. So it was totally different. I was still working at about 6 p.m. I was still in a meeting because I thought, it's not just another typhoon, like what Alyssa said. We didn't prepare. Like, we're supposed to buy like goods, water,
Same.
or
we were
like
not prepared at all.
I was still in a meeting, and then the people that I was in a meeting with, people who are from India, said, you're supposed to just drop off the meeting and then prepare. But I said, no, it's gonna be fine. But in the middle of the meeting, almost 7 p.m., the wind got so strong.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, you're right. I have to leave this meeting. And a couple of minutes after, the power got cut off. And little did I know, it will go back like a couple of months later. So yeah, that was my experience, like in a gist.
Yeah, totally. Because I mean, I can understand because I've seen photos of where you live, Jan. By the way, for those who don't know, Janine is my manager. So we kind of know each other pretty well. You live in the mountain part of Talisay, so you're more exposed to like the elements, right? Compared to here in the city where there are tall buildings blocking the wind and stuff like that. And also, I would just like to touch on what Alyssa said earlier about like a lot of people I think brushed off Typhoon Odette because again, even I would dare say that it was even a lot worse than Yolanda. And Yolanda was like the strongest that ever made landfall here in the Philippines. So yeah, I would just like to also ask Janine, what was the experience, since you already shared your experience during, what was it like after the calamity basically devastated the entire island?
First of all, it was a long during. It was a couple of hours.
It was the longest, like, I think it was, I believe, 3 hours that it was here.
It felt like it wasn't gonna end.
Yeah, it felt like forever, definitely.
For us in the village where I live, we were not able to go out of our houses before 5 a.m. So it started at about 7 p.m. for us, and then maybe even until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. it was still really strong. According to some neighboring subdivisions, they said there was like a little twister. So on top of the typhoon, there was another calamity, and that's the reason why all of our roofs were totally damaged. And so the experience right after the typhoon is so difficult. Like for me, I bought a car 1 month before the typhoon, and there was a typhoon. So all I kept thinking about was, oh my god, my car.
It's so new.
I just got it.
So new, and so luckily my car was just very few dents. However, our entire roof is totally damaged. It was totally gone, and so our beds, everything, all the appliances and furnitures on the second floor are totally out. Like we could not use them. So after the typhoon was just really challenging. That I still had to work. So
yeah,
and there's no power. It was in the mountains, so they could not go there. They had to prioritize those who are in the highways. So what I did was I looked for a place where I could stay and work. So I had the option to go to the office, but then my husband also had to work, and it was just it made sense for us to find a place where I could stay, sleep, rest well, because there's no power at home, right? So I had to find somewhere in the city and stay with my husband to work, which is very difficult.
Right. I mean, I think maybe I can probably relate as to the gravity of the damages that your place unfortunately endured after the typhoon, but I can definitely relate to the the struggles immediately. The emotional struggle, the physical, financial struggle immediately after the typhoon, because ATMs weren't working.
The lines here were crazy, because I went to the office like a few days after because I needed to charge, because again we were not prepared. So I was just like, I didn't have my power banks charged. My phone was, I think it was like at 40%. I was like, I need to go to the office and charge everything. And then also my family members like gadgets, I had to charge it. So I went here and the lines were crazy everywhere for ATM, for 7-Eleven, for dim sum break. And it's so sad to see that this is what it's like when you're not prepared for anything. And also I want to touch on what John said a while ago, like downplaying other people's experiences. I think it's really different for everyone, because we live in different parts. Like even like in Lapu-Lapu, it was a totally different story. So when we're talking about like our stories, it's just really based on our experience, and it's not really like, I experienced worse than you. So there's really no comparison, because at the end of the day, all of us struggled with that situation. So, like, I guess with coping with it, like, for you, Raymond, how did you, like, try to navigate, like, the really long lines and trying to cope up with what happened after the typhoon?
For us, yeah, also live in mountainous barangay here in Cebu. It's in Buhisan. So
Where is Buhisan? Sorry.
Yeah.
it's do you know Don Bosco?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's a mountain.
But that's still here in Cebu City, right?
It's still in Cebu City.
Yeah. Okay.
So usually the source of water there are like private water supplier. Yes, but unfortunately, when all of the electricity went out, so all of those suppliers were also down. So the only source of water that we have there are wells. Sometimes they have puso,
Yeah.
and there was a time that after the typhoon, we will walk like 20 minutes
Just to
towards
fetch
Just for
water.
water.
just to
water,
fetch water. But luckily, after that, we in our community we gather some funds because there was a not working well at the back of our house, so we fixed it, and then after that we already fetching water at the back of our house
Cool.
because of the help of our community.
Right. How much damage did your place sustain after the typhoon? By the way, like,
We're-
was it like heavily damaged, or just was it minor dents in your place?
Yeah, in our house we just lost one roof,
On the roof?
but when you look at the mountains area, like
Yeah.
there are some houses there, it's totally gone.
Got it.
There was actually there was a one kid that actually died
Died.
because a tree fall down, and
the house.
mother was pregnant carrying the child, and
That's so
they did
sad.
not survive because
Yeah.
they live in the mountain, and how can they like run towards
Right.
down because it was also raining, so it was also
Right.
dangerous. So it's so pity. I feel pity for them.
That's right. I mean, again, this probably links back to what you said earlier, Alyssa, about not downplaying other people's experiences. Because again, we may think that our experience of Odette was the worst, but like, how about those people who actually lost someone because of Odette, or who lost like everything they ever had, right? I mean, we're probably, I would say, privileged and quite lucky that we only lost a couple of roof sheetings, and we just had to struggle about the lines and not having water and electricity. These are things that we can still gain back. But those people who actually lost loved ones, I think they're probably the ones who should, or who have endured the most out of Odette. But I would just like to touch on what you said about you and your community, like chipping in to fix the broken well. I think that's also one thing that Odette sort of brought out in us.
Community building.
Right, exactly. Like
Yeah,
that
it brings closer.
Yeah.
that sort of power of community that sort of makes you work together because of the adversity that you're facing.
I think it's a shared experience that
Right.
you have. That like, hey, we're all struggling. Let's try to help
Let's-
each other. Let's
right?
try to get out of this together.
Like you set aside your differences all of
Yeah.
a sudden because of this common enemy that you need to sort of face. So can you talk us through that experience?
Yes. So during that time, because it will take several minutes for you to get the water,
Yeah.
or you need to walk in towards the like a cliff
Right.
before you can get the water. So my neighbor, he is a plumber.
Right.
He initiated that we should contribute like at least 500 per household just to buy some plumbing tools and
Right.
some in order to fix the well. And yeah, after the well was fixed, even people from other barangay
Uh-huh.
will go to our place to get some water. And yeah, some
I hope they were welcome.
Yeah, I
though.
hope none of your community members stopped them.
Yeah, like, no, you're not allowed. You're not from this barangay.
You
They were not
You didn't
stopped.
contribute 500 pesos.
Actually, my neighbors were actually happy because
yeah.
they will go to those people that's from other barangay.
Right.
They
And
will
invite them.
yeah they will
That's
say
so
that
cool.
I'll get you water
Right.
if you will pay me.
Oh, so that's
Business.
business opportunity.
Yeah,
I mean,
business,
and
yeah.
that's not.
Well, times are tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you can make money, go ahead.
go ahead, right? But as long as it's not like exploitation, but yeah, that definitely makes sense. How about you, Jen? Do you have like a similar experience or story to share about a community coming together to face an adversity?
Oh, definitely. So, at the beginning, we didn't have water water to drink, water to take a bath. One of our neighbors, because we can't go down, right? So, all the electrical posts, trees fell down in the road, so you can't pass. So you had to walk. But one of my neighbors, our neighbors, had what do you call that kind of car? Like really huge tires that he could pass through. So what he did was he helped us. He went all the way to Liloan. We heard that in the northern part of Cebu, there's really not much of a damage compared to the southern part. So he went as far as Liloan and got water for us. So he left at 7 a.m. and he came back 4 p.m. He got water for almost all of us, 1 bottle each for free. He would not accept payment. And it's also, I could remember during that time, I'm not very neighborly, I'm not very friendly, but I really treasured the networks that I have, me and my sister. We are connected to some organizations and we have friends from outside of Cebu. They really went as far as sending people to our house to check if we're okay and to bring supplies. We were able to receive a generator, but because of the gas is so expensive and so hard to purchase, we were not able to use it. But the thing there is, you can really if use your network, and if you have people, you just the challenging part is you can't contact them because there was no signal, there was no internet. From where I live, it actually took months before we were able to regain our signal. In the city, it was quite fast. And every time I visit the city, it's always available. But when I go home, I could not receive texts or like emails. So every time people visits us, so it's like a lottery if we are actually there or not, because they could not verify by calling us. Really appreciate that. So networking, informal or formal, is really, really helpful during Odette.
I would like to add that they actually also extended monetary allowance.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not an allowance, but like a help
Wow.
that you don't have to pay for if you just stay until the next December, which is next month.
Right.
You don't have to pay for it. Also, because my house is so damaged, we could not live on the top floor. The management here offered my family to live in the apartment. So they really take care, like they look after their employees, and I
Yes.
appreciate that. But I have 2 dogs, which I could not bring to an apartment.
Oh no.
So
The doggos.
I will not go anywhere where I could, I could not bring them because
Okay,
they're also
dogs.
really important to me.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're right, Paolo, when you say that med specialized, even during a difficult time like
Right.
that, takes care of their employees.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was also an allowance given to those who wanted to work in like co-working spaces.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
So
yeah.
yeah, because the manager, because I was one of the people who did the wellness checks that
Oh.
you talked about.
So it was you.
I don't know if I called you, but it was me, I think Jam, and like other admin, people in finance and in workforce. Because they asked, especially like for Dr. Catalyst, since they are the bulk, they asked us to like call up all the employees and check on like how they're doing.
Right.
And of course, no one was doing well. So
one.
at first, when I was offered the opportunity to check on people, because again, I was very blessed to not have like very like it wasn't like, the damage in our house wasn't terrible. So I was just able to come here to the office. I said, yeah, sure, I'll help in any way I can. So when we started calling, it felt good that you could like help out and reach out to people. And then it sunk into my mind that, okay, I'm just calling them. After that, I don't know how to help you. I can't really do anything. I can't do much more than this. So, like, for me, it was really great to see how I didn't expect that this is how a company would like approach the situation where they would really call up each employee, offer assistance. And so yeah, for those people who wanted to like work in remote like workspaces, since they couldn't work at home, they're like, okay, if you can find a place, then we'll give you an allowance to cover for it, because again, that's an additional expense, and you know, it was already tough then. So yeah, it was heartwarming to know
They did
that
all they could.
like, it's not just a corporation and employees. Like they actually cared, especially Miss Dao. So yeah.
Right.
Shout out Miss Dao.
Shout out Miss D.
Shout out Miss Dao.
Yeah. Okay. But moving on though, like looking back, what do you think you would have done differently to better prepare for that? Because I think we all have things that we regret not doing or doing after that. So what do you think you could have done differently? Janine, you can start off. Yeah.
Sure. I'm actually already starting to do it.
Right now?
It's
Wow, proactive.
Right. You know, when you go through that trauma,
I hope we're not preparing for
when you go through that kind of trauma, you actually would, you know, I have anxiety about it happening again. I think it's really important that you have a go bag at home.
Go bag.
Yeah, go bag is like whenever there's a tragedy or like
just have everything
an emergency.
You can just
like there's
pick up and
medicine,
go.
there's blanket, there's camp boots. I always now I buy more than what I need for that month. Maybe a couple of days after extra. So whenever there's a calamity, I probably would have food for my family for a couple of days until I get help.
Right.
Also, I bought a lot of solar-powered lights, radio, fan. It was so hot. It was really, really hot.
Are you preparing for a typhoon or the apocalypse?
Like, I feel like I learned stuff, but I didn't adapt this type of
You didn't take action.
mindset.
Right.
It's really especially for me because everybody in the community and in the village where I live in had a shared experience where we all lost our roofs, and some of us even lost the terrace, like a part of their like house, like entirely. It just flew with the wind. So all of us, like I was seeing that with my neighbors installing solar roofs, but I could not afford that, so I just went with solar lights.
That's really expensive.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to do now, like little by little. So I feel more peace of mind, but not really. It's just helping me with my anxiety about the
Just to cope.
Just
Yeah.
a little bit of coping.
Correct. It's all I can afford.
Not the solar roofs for now.
All right.
What about you, Raymond? What are you?
For me, the habit that I'm doing right now is to check the news from time to time, especially if there's a news about typhoon. Then I would really prepare some few items at home, like for like even canned goods or noodles that you can cook in case a typhoon will happen. Because we actually also live near a river, so whenever there's a huge typhoon or like heavy rains, it will
swell up.
Yeah, it will flow. Because in our barangay, there's a dam. It's called Buhisan Dam. So when there's a heavy rain, they will usually open it, and there's a lot of water that will flow. So we're also scared, especially during heavy rains. So I always like watch the tax of in the RNC.
And listen to them.
And when they text, I would really listen to the radio or watch TV.
What was the situation like though when Odette was rampaging through Cebu? What was the situation in the Buhisan Dam?
Yeah, it was.
Was it overflowing?
almost.
Uh-huh.
It was really almost going to overflow,
Yeah.
but um, but we actually built some big rafts near the river, so it was good that it did not really overflow.
Swell up that much. Yeah, because I
Yes.
think with Odette, a lot of people think that Odette was like that it came with very heavy rain. It actually was more of like strong
Strong
and
winds.
violent winds, right? It wasn't that much of like, unlike I think Yolanda. I'm just basing this on experience, by the way. This is not based on data. I'm just
Based
basing
on
this,
personal
yeah,
experience.
just
Personal
experience,
observation.
observation. Yeah, and unlike Yolanda, where the rains were really like there was a lot of rain. In Odette, it was more of like violent winds. Like it was even whistling outside during the like at the height of its rampaging. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to be experiencing during like Christmas season.
exactly.
As well.
Yeah,
Because you're imagining like, for us Filipinos, it's when it's Burr months, we
Yeah.
already think it's Christmas. So we look forward to like preparations, meeting up with families and gatherings, and I think none of that happened
Right.
during that time.
Exactly.
So many things got postponed, canceled, and moved. So I think for us this year, it's I'm hoping and manifesting that it will be a better year to
Celebrate
enjoy
Yeah.
Christmas with our families, especially given what happened last year.
Right.
So, do you guys have plans on celebrating your Christmas with your loved ones and your families for the year? Janine?
Well, yeah, always. Even after the typhoon last year, right? Last year.
last year. Yeah,
Last year, yeah.
We were still able to celebrate, although we were not able to prepare any grand
Yeah,
meals
the usual.
because we didn't have power, so we can't store meat. A lot of them. So just
What do you guys have?
I think we had maybe 3 dishes, and I'm sure they're expensive. I am 100% sure. After the 25th, the rain poured so hard again. It flooded my house again. I actually cried, like ugly crying, because I felt like, oh my god, this is so unfair. Like I'm starting to have hope and to
Yeah.
like live life kind of normal again. And every time it rains, it actually gives me trauma because then the entire house would be flooded because we were not able to fix our roof right away because it's under insurance. So we had to wait for approval. It's a long process. We only had our roofs repaired like a couple of months after. So for the next few months, every time it rains, we had to like go upstairs and then like bring everything downstairs, and it would eventually flood down the stairs until the ground floor. So yeah, but Christmas is still Christmas. It's like every Filipino, it's about family.
exactly. It's not really about grand celebrations,
Right.
right?
I think it's still about like your relationships.
How about Raymond though? I'm curious to hear what you have planned out for this holiday season.
Yeah, for me, because of COVID and with this typhoon,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to visit my newly born nephews and niece.
Aww.
So,
Sad.
and
Cute.
yeah, right now this year, I'm hoping that I can already go all around with my those godsons and
Yeah.
goddaughters.
So you haven't seen them yet ever since Odette? Or you haven't seen them at all?
I haven't seen them. I actually tried to escape whenever they're going at me. Just,
Uh-huh.
I can't.
What? You can't? You
They ask money.
gotta speak up!
They will ask money.
They will ask money. Oh,
Nino,
okay, I see.
Where's my?
I feel you.
Oh,
sir.
okay,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Ask for gifts,
For
alright.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
especially
sorry.
now.
Season's coming up.
I bought a
Oh my
water
God.
because of the,
Thinking about it, I also have a lot of like debt to my
Wow.
godsons
I love
and
how you use the
goddaughters.
term depth.
Yes. Anyway, I think we can take a little bit of a break before we continue. Right after we come back, we will, I think, do the question.
Our tradition.
Yeah, tradition. It's becoming more of a tradition
Yeah,
now.
it's our segment
Yeah.
of doing the ping pong
Ping
ball
pong question.
questions.
Right. All right. So we'll be right back.
All right, so we're back from our short little break. We'll go into our segment that has no name yet, but we should definitely
give it
think
a
of
name,
a.
'cause this is becoming like a tradition.
This is now
for the pod.
it's a tradition and it's now a problem that we don't, that we don't have a name. So right now we're just gonna call it the fish bowl.
I don't know.
Ping pong ball questions
There you go.
from the fish bowl with Christmas decorations.
It's really long.
Yeah,
That's really long.
It's a work in progress. We'll get there.
Yeah, we
we'll
have to
get there. We'll
shorten
get
that.
there. Yeah, probably we'll think of something.
Probably the next episodes we'll have something better. But I like the direction you're going though. Love it.
Very clear, straight to the point.
Yeah.
Straight to the point name. Anyway, so if you guys listened to the first episode, you know how this goes. If you haven't, why haven't you? I'm just kidding. Go listen to it right now.
Just not kidding.
So what we're gonna do is have Raymund pick out a ball from the fish.
Ping pong ball?
A ping pong ball. A ping pong ball from the fish bowl, and every ball in the bowl has a number. So depending on the number, there's a corresponding question.
Yeah.
Oh my god, did that make sense? I'm so sorry, but yeah, number, questions. We'll ask you guys the questions, and then Raymund and Janine will take turns answering the question, and yeah, maybe Pao and I might join in if we have something to share.
Depending on the question.
Depending on the question, we have the right to remain silent.
Yeah. All right. So
All right.
anyway, Raymund, can you pick a ping pong ball from the fish bowl? This is becoming a problem.
This is the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see what number that is. 11.
Ooh.
Let me just check what the corresponding question is.
My brain hurts.
Have you found the question yet, Alyssa?
Yeah. Go. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Please. If you already have it.
Why is it called shipping if it goes by truck? Why is it called cargo when it goes by ship? Oh my god, big brain questions. I'm having an existential
I
crisis.
think I'm not gonna join in on this one. You guys can have this. All right. So who wants to go first? Well,
I feel like Janine's like, why am I here? I didn't
When
sign
you
up for
ask this question, who asked this question?
anyway, we'll have
Prod team.
the prod team. We'll talk to them later. Who wrote this question?
Right.
But yeah, go. Volunteers are welcome. Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. So,
Very brave.
if you get my idea, like, what if you take my idea and then I have the same answer? So I am original.
Okay.
Why is it called shipping when it
Goes by truck.
by truck? Okay, I'll answer that first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I read it somewhere. I'm not sure. Okay, I think I read this somewhere like a long time ago that delivering of goods in the past were all by ship. If it's between two islands, like different lands across seas, so there were no planes. Like there were planes, but they were not used for delivering like goods.
trading.
Yes. So that's why it's called shipping. It's the origin of trading by ship. So it's very serious, but that's like
That makes
That
sense.
actually makes sense, right?
Yeah,
because
like
that's
a
my
whole new
original
world
answer.
right here.
That was
A whole
a
new
really good trivia.
perspective.
Yeah, that's. I'm not sure about that. Don't believe me, okay? Just, you have to verify that. And then the other question is,
Why is it called cargo when it goes by ship?
okay. Well, here I can be more sure, but still not 100%.
Like 1% more sure.
My boys are like really into different kinds of trucks. Cargo is a type of truck.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why it's called cargo. It's not because it's car and go. It's a type of
I was starting to think that maybe that was the origin of that word.
We also have to.
it's a type of truck, but I don't know why it's called cargo, but I'm sure it's one of the types. There are different types that are like
Well, like, what type of truck is that? Like, can you at least roughly describe what it
This
was
has
like?
now become a test.
I'm sorry, like I'm not as good as my boys, but I would like to believe it's because cargo, meaning to say they bring in stuff with them. Like
Yeah.
they're used to transport goods from one location by land, from one location to another. Probably it originated from the forces, like the military, maybe.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure, so you have to don't believe anything that I'm
Google it.
saying.
Google it. Yeah. You guys have free time. Google it.
Yeah, it's your responsibility to verify whatever I'm talking about here. It's just my
Exactly.
answer to your trivia. So yeah.
Oh my God. You know what?
Actually, that was quite insightful.
I feel like if this was Miss Universe, you would have already won. And yeah, you would be the winner, and I would be like the girl who said, "Oh my God, my family." I would just be here like, I don't know maybe these words. I don't know why we can't have just one term for everything.
Right.
It means the same thing. Anyway, Raymund, take it away. What do you think? Why do you think it's called shipping if it goes by truck? And why is it cargo if it goes by ship?
I think it's called shipping because that's how Shopee designed it.
There you go. That's the legitimate answer right there.
Shopee invented shipping.
Shopping.
Oh my gosh.
And I think
Oh my God, it's 11/11
there's
sale today.
no truck that can travel from Manila to Cebu. So
Yeah.
I think it can travel mostly by ship or by airplane, but
Yeah.
mostly by ship. And regarding cargo,
Yeah. Why is it called cargo when it goes by ship?
I don't think. What again?
All right. So you
Our
actually,
brains right now are just.
you actually kind of nailed. I feel like you nailed the first
Yeah.
part of the question, but the second part is why is it called cargo when it goes by ship?
Okay, I think cargo is. I agree with Miss that cargo is what goes into the cargo truck.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Makes sense. Makes
I
sense.
support
Yeah.
you. I got you.
That's why you won't call that anything because it's
Right.
for the cargo truck.
Yeah.
So since we're having so much fun with these questions, we would like Janine to also pick a ball from the bowl,
Sure.
and we'll do another question.
Okay. Wish me luck, Raymond.
I hope it's number 6, my favorite question.
I'm actually hoping it's number 9. That's my
Lot
my
of-
bet.
Ooh, what is it? Oh, it's number 3.
I'm sorry, it's not number 6.
It's number 3.
Number 3.
Do you want to read the question?
Okay. Hang on. I'm still looking for
Oh, okay, you know what? I got it.
it. Go ahead.
Okay,
Since you're already
so question number 3. If you were to appoint a president of the internet,
Oh.
who would it be and why?
This is quite interesting. I love it.
So internet president, like they're in charge of
So,
Everything.
hang on.
like security wise, meme wise.
Like they are the internet of the president, or they are.
What does the
Oh my
president do?
god!
So if the
Let me just rephrase the question, if you would allow me.
go power redeem yourself, you can do it. We all believe in
need
you
to.
here.
So they are. Just to. I'm
You
sorry.
can do it.
So just to clarify, the question is, you're gonna pick a president of the internet, not from the internet, right?
No, yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
alright.
Because like some people they live off grid, they don't like live on the interwebs.
Oh my god, I
So,
feel like
let's-
there's no going back from that.
So let's just pretend that the people who live online lives
Right,
need a president to guide them on like what is the internet?
Yeah.
How do I become a social media influencer? So yeah, who would you pick, Jan, as the No, I'm I'm not sure. President of the internet.
President of the internet. Well, you're reading the question. There's only one name in my mind. That's Elon.
Okay.
The reason for that is I think he's the only person who has the energy
Yeah.
to be petty and have the money and
Right.
be rude. Like he doesn't
Right.
care. And I think most people of influence on the internet are very, very careful of what they do, but not
Right.
Elon. So I
Exactly.
think he's in the right headspace with the right energy, with the right money. I don't think anyone else with the money would care about the internet.
Yeah.
Only him. So, and he's petty. So Yeah, I like that about him. So if you're being naughty on the internet or being annoying,
Yeah,
he
he
could
will call
deactivate
you
you, and you won't have voice anymore. So I like that about him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. How about you, Raymond? That's quite an interesting answer, Jan.
We can choose anything like
Yeah,
Anyone.
anyone.
like a mythical creature.
Oh,
okay.
that
Now
is
you're
an
going there.
interesting
All right.
entry.
Okay.
I love
Yeah,
this
go
train
ahead.
of
Yeah.
thought.
I would
Anyone.
like to choose Zeus as the president,
Okay.
so that there are some people like annoys you in the internet. So I would like Zeus to be the president, so that you can request those people to
You're not
be
gonna electrocute them.
Electric.
You're not.
Take off their
put a
power.
rat on them.
Just what? Just put the rat on them.
Yeah, because sometimes it really makes you mad that like some people like post your picture without
Right,
you knowing
right.
and
Right.
will shame you on the internet and yeah, some
Yeah,
people.
and just to make things clear, we're not advocating violence here. What he's referring to when he said rat is just like I don't know, just what do you call this?
not lethal.
Yeah, not lethal, right? Like
Like a taser.
At
yeah,
least you can
something like that.
Taser you so you
Yeah.
would behave.
Yeah,
I'm sensing a theme here of like petty, chaotic energy that
Like
gives
shallow.
off like punishment.
Yeah, because the internet is petty. So
Yeah,
like find the
exactly.
pettiest person
Yeah.
who will take care of it.
Just feed the pettiness.
Yeah.
Right.
We need more of that. Do we need more of that? Oh my
Alright,
gosh. Okay. So this has been really fun.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed our unnamed segment, which we are temporarily calling Fishball.
Ping pong.
Ping pong. Fishball. Question.
We will refine that and polish that in the next episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should probably watch out for the next episodes.
And we'll have a name for it.
Yeah.
So, I guess we can do like a bit of a recap on like what we would like want to, I guess, impart on like what we've like learned like from each other's stories, and then moving forward, I guess like how it has maybe changed our perspective on how we look at Christmas or how we look at like, just life in general. Jan, do you wanna start off with a light question?
Sure, I'm not sure if that's light.
Not at all.
Not at all. Being like the emotional preparedness is there, but really what I learned from today's discussion as well as the actual experience of Odette is to be physically, mentally, and financially ready for
Right.
emergencies. Because, like for example, even if you had the money or if you had the house, but you're not physically ready to fetch water like so many kilometers away from
Right.
you. So yeah, just I learned from the experience. So that's why I bought a lot of cheap solar lights. So I would have light when hopefully it won't happen again.
Hopefully.
But yeah, that's
Knock on wood.
that's what I learned from the discussion today, to be prepared, and from the experience itself.
Great. What about you, Raymond?
for me, I think no man is an island. So if you have time to just chit chat with your neighbors or know them a little better, you'll never know that they may help you or you can help them in the future. And as a whole community, if you will help one another, and you can really make a big difference.
So that's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What about you, pal? What's your takeaway from today's episode?
Okay, I think there's a lot of things that we can learn from Odette and from this, even just from this conversation that we had. But I think the lesson that really stuck with me from Odette is just being sort of I wouldn't say ready, but like just be. Yeah, I think the word there is ready and prepared.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the right words. I would agree with Janine that you need to be prepared physically, like in all aspects, emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, because yeah, you can have a lot of money, but like what happened in Odette, you can't you can't have access to that money, it's basically useless. And also, just to touch on what Raymond said, that aspect of helping each other, I think that's very powerful. But I hope though that we won't just be helping each other during tough times, but in all the times, because I feel like a lot of Cebuanos were only able to sort of only went out their way to extend a hand only during Odette. That was the only time that I really saw Cebuanos come together. I hope that we can make that a part of who we are as a people. And yeah, I mean, not to romanticize resilience, but it is quite an important aspect of how we came out from Odette. So, yeah. How about you, Alyssa?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question.
Take it
So,
away.
I think one of the things that really stuck with me is what Jan said about downplaying other people's situations. You know, not just in Odette, but I think in life in general, it's
Right.
so common for us to say like, "Oh, don't be stressed at work. I have it worse.
Yeah.
Don't complain about your financial worries. I have more like debt than you
Yeah.
do." So I think maintaining the perspective of like everyone is really just going by their own struggles and they're trying to get through. And if you have it difficult, that doesn't really it doesn't take away if someone has worse problems than you
Right.
or lesser problems than you, because you have your own unique problems and your unique situation. So even if, like, for example, Janine and I might have the same debt of, like, for example, just knock on wood, like, let's say we owe someone 5,000 pesos, but Janine has, like, more family members that she needs to
Yeah.
feed, and I'm, like, feeding myself. So it would be easier, quote unquote, for me
Right.
to, like, pay back that debt. So, like, I think it's just something that we can all, like, empathize with and take yourself out of that situation where you have to keep comparing.
Right.
And just be more empathetic towards others. And I think community building, that's such a wonderful thing to have. And I think with what Pao said about like, Cebuanos not really showcasing that, I think it's because we haven't had
Right.
that
Major calamities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that happened where we really needed to like
Step
be
up.
there for each other and step up
Yeah,
and make initiatives for like charity and community building.
Right.
So yeah, I hope that this was
Right.
an episode where we learned something and we got to
Yes.
reflect, and hope we go out of this episode in a more peaceful mindset.
Positive mindset. And
Positive mindset.
hopefully, like, just to bounce off of what you said about not comparing your situation with others. I think it all boils down to just being kind, being nice to one another.
Yeah.
Because we really don't know what everyone is going through.
Right.
So yeah, as much as we would like to continue this conversation, this has been really fun.
Thank you guys for staying until the end of this very special episode. So we hope you guys like learned a thing or two, and I hope our guests had fun.
Yes.
Raymond, Janine,
Yes.
thank you so much
Yes,
for
we have.
joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, join us again next time as we share and talk about different career experiences. This has been Pao.
And this has been Elisa signing off.